Hey everybody, welcome to our YouTube channel, the Redline Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe, and turn on those post notifications for all upcoming videos and episodes. Please listen to our show every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on TalkShoeRadio.com. Enjoy this episode.
All right. I see that we are on. Chanel, can you hear me? There you go. Chanel,
Hello. Yeah.
there you go. There you go. All right, we got it together. Just had a little few hiccups in that here and there, but we got it. We got
I
it. We
I
got it.
just
We're
logged.
here.
I just
Yeah,
logged into it. Yeah, we're here. But technical
we're
difficulties. It
here.
happens. It happens.
Yeah. Well, you know what today is, girl? The official launch.
What is
We made it.
today?
It's today. Today is the official launch. Yes.
It's launch
So without
day.
woo, finally, after a year, we are here. We are here,
Af-
and excited. So go
After
ahead.
all of the brainstorming, after all of the countless calls and situations, we are here.
We are here. Thank you, Lord. All righty, let's get this show started tonight, y'all. We have a show for you. We have a show for you. We're gonna talk about pretty much what's going on in the news. We was intending on talking about the Ahmaud Arbery case, but new developments then came out with George Floyd and everything, Christian Cooper, all of that. So right now I changed the title to the senseless lynching of our people. And it's not just our black men, it's even our black women. So without further ado, Nelly Swag, can you go ahead and get us started on this ride? We're leaving from Howard. Let's go on, head on down to 95th, all right?
All right, everybody. Once again, thank you for joining us today on the official launch. I know it was a little bit delayed, but we was on Black People's time, but it's okay. Technical difficulties, but we have prevailed. Any old ways, I want to welcome everybody to the launch of our podcast, The Redline, with your host, Queen Alexis, and myself, Nelly Swag. We are excited to have you with us to go on this ride. Once again, the mission of this podcast is to give you our insight into issues, topics that we feel need a voice that might not always be heard. So, on today's episode, we're discussing a topic that I'm sure everyone has been having on their minds the last couple of weeks, and that's the crime of being black in America. And it shouldn't be a crime, but it is. We're in just the last 2 weeks, we have learned about Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and just this week, George Floyd. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about our rage, our tears, our heartbreak, the truth about America that has been from the slave trade, civil rights movement, Black Panthers, and now the Black Lives Matter and the social media era we live in today. So it's a lot to unpack, but we're gonna unpack this thing together, people. I told Alexis earlier today that my heart is heavy. It's real heavy. I haven't felt this heaviness in a long time. In my 29 years of living, I have experienced Trayvon Martin. I have experienced, um, you know,
Eric Gardner.
Eric Gardner. I have experienced. That was the first I Can't Breathe. I have experienced so
Mm-hmm.
many countless names. I have in the city of Chicago, the Quan McDonald. So
Yep.
everybody out there, from Breonna Taylor in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, from George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota, to Georgia with Ahmaud Arbery. Trust me, we feel you, especially everybody out there in Minnesota, because Chicago, we didn't tear the city up completely, but we had our moments and we felt it. So we just gonna have to get through this one together. And this is what this podcast was made for. Yeah, we're gonna make you laugh. Yeah, we're gonna have our ignorant podcast. We're gonna have fun. But today, on this day, on launch day, I don't feel like it's any other way to set off this podcast, but not. It would be a disservice if we did not talk about the crime of being black in America, especially being two black mothers who have black children who have to grow up in this world. And that's what makes me the most sad. And I just want y'all to just, understand what it is. So, first and foremost, we're going to go with what our intentional topic was going to be, but we're going to filter it down. We're going to start off with the Ahmaud Arbery case, people. For those who don't know, Ahmaud Arbery was shot and killed in February by two white men who did not have any jurisdiction. One of them was a former police officer, one of them was his son, and the other third suspect was recording. Ahmaud was just jogging through his neighborhood. It was alleged that they felt like he was stealing something, but he was in a white t-shirt, running shoes, and basketball shorts. Last time I checked, that is not the outfit that thieves wear. And he was gunned down. And when I saw this video, I wept. I wept like that flag they used to put out in front of the NCAA headquarters. A man was lynched today. That's how I felt watching that video. My heart broke, my soul ached, and to see him get killed like that in broad daylight, like he was a dog, just broke my heart. And Alexis, how did you feel about that whole situation?
Well, now, since for me, one, it hit very much differently. At first, when I heard about the case, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna be like, yep, here go another one. Just like Trayvon Martin, just like Eric Gardner, just like Michael Ferguson, another young black man, and now just like George Floyd, another young black man gone for no reason, jogging, like, and your excuse was I never seen him before. Um, to be honest, and this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. How long is that lie gonna work? I'm just saying. Because that was a straight lie. The person who recorded it was allegedly said that he cut him off. So how this case goes is this way: you trapped him. And for a black mother that have a black son, I have to now tell him, man, it's even dangerous for you to even run outside. It's even dangerous for you to have any fresh air. It's dangerous for you to go to the store by yourself. It's dangerous. It's dangerous because somebody is looking at your black skin, even though my child is not that dark, it's not really black, it's still black skin, black curly hair. It's dangerous to just exist. So seeing this case, if it becomes heart wrenching and heartbreaking that I have to tell my children that literally being black is a crime all in itself. You was born a criminal all in itself. I don't I know it was going on back when we was younger in the 90s, but come on now. We grew up with not a care in the world. To go outside, man, we've been, Chanel, we wanted to for for anything, we want to go outside and play. We want to go outside and play. We want to go outside and get some air. And now to say, as an adult, you can't even walk outside. You can't even jog outside. You can't get anything from the store because somebody of another race. And at first, I was like, look, we just got to cool out because I'm I was one of the main ones that was like, why we always got to riot? and protest and mess up our stuff. We don't mess up none of theirs or nothing when we get mad. We mess up our stuff and we got to rebuild from our stuff, up our stuff, and this still going to keep going. But at this point now, I understand why everybody is really mad. I'm mad because it's enough is enough. How long? I mean, come on now. Since 2000, what, 14 was Trayvon Martin to now in 6 years. Do you realize now in full years that we done lost too many of us in several states? Fidel Castro, a traffic stop, a traffic stop ended his life. He said he got a weapon and I got a conceal and carry license, and still that wasn't enough. He get killed in front of his daughter. We
Quick thing
we
about
we're
that.
expendable.
Quick thing about that with Fidel Castro. I just want to know all my gun right activists and all my NRA carrying members. Where was y'all at? I just want to know.
Oh, you know. Oh, no, no, no. You got to understand. All of that is for them, not us.
Exactly.
Not
But
us.
I just want
That's
to
for
know.
them.
I just want to know. I just want to know because when things happen in our communities and we're like we need to stop the gun traffic and we need to stop the gun flow, we need legislation put in place so we can get these guns out of our neighborhoods. Then all of a sudden it's no, this is our Second Amendment rights. You want to take it away. But then when we take the turn and be like, we're going to strap ourselves up and we're going to carry out our Second Amendment rights, suddenly the laws change automatically. And it's
You do
just that's
understand. Chanel, you do understand. Them laws wasn't made for us.
I know that.
It
I know
wasn't
that.
made
But
for us. When they
I
made
know
them laws, it was for them.
it definitely was. To get back on track, the Ahmaud case is a case that, um, yes, all three suspects have been arrested and charged with murder. Um, this young man was 26 years old, like 20, 26 years old. Like, say that to yourself. At 26, like I just made 29, but at 26, you're gunned down. And now, like, we're told we need to live a healthier lifestyle. The gyms are closed. We can't really go to the parks like that because we want to have social distancing during this pandemic. But we can't even jog in our own neighborhoods because when a black person moves into maybe a predominantly white neighborhood or a mixed neighborhood, everybody's like, I don't know them. And y'all harass us and treat us like we we have some type of plague on us, like we have leprosy. But you, I say this very cautiously, but I say this very firmly. But white people would gentrify our neighborhoods, move into our neighborhoods, and we don't blink an
Mm-hmm.
eye. We'll just be like, oh, they live on 69th, or all they live on 57th, all they live on 112th, or woota woota wah. And we do not say much because unfortunately, the way us as blacks gotta think, y- yes, we have to think about maybe getting priced out and it gets too high for us to live there. But a part of us, unfortunately, looks as if a couple of white people are in our vicinity, then maybe our neighborhood would have a safer presence. Maybe things would kind of calm down. But we have to think that way as black people. And that case is ongoing. The information that comes out,
And I
um, the
and I
alleged
pose
information.
this question.
Yes, 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 you
Let me
can.
pose this question. Just to comment on what you said with white folks coming into our neighborhoods and we're going through gentrification and dealing with that. Oh, maybe with the white folks there we get a little bit of safety and everything. It might be turn into a good area. Okay, as we can see. The safety ain't for us. It's against
Exactly.
us. It's
Exactly.
against us. Um, it's now to the point now that when you got a president that is
The,
pretty much subliminally okaying and green lighting the the police and civilians to pretty much feel how they feel, really.
and I have something to say about that because I wasn't gonna bring our federal government into this situation, but I am our executive branch. This president,
You can't help but to do so.
that guy, that person, I don't even know what to call him. He kind of looked like a 70-year-old Porky the Pig, but I digress. Um,
I said
today,
troll dog, but
yeah.
okay.
Okay, so you see, we're gonna try to keep it
It's
lighthearted a
troll.
little bit. Don't disrespect Poppy like that. Don't do it. Anyways, getting back on point. Um, as you all know, we're all suffering the same thing during a pandemic. So black people, we got a twofold. We are we have the highest mortality rate, and we're being most affected by the coronavirus right now. And we're dealing with systematic oppression and racism. But we're gonna dive deeper into that. But let me make this point. As we've reached the mark of over 100,000 people who have passed due to the coronavirus, as we are dealing with case after case of systematic oppression, racism, and killings of our black men and black women and black children, and unfair arrest of the minorities versus our white counterparts. Do you know our president today? He did an executive order maybe a couple of hours ago writing the executive order about, do you know what was the executive order to mandate reform of the police and justice system? No. Was it an executive order for new testing and more masks and more resources to small businesses and to make sure every child who is doing
Hell
distance
no.
learning has an iPad or a computer? Do you know what this executive order
No.
was? This executive order
I know it
was
was none of
because
that.
This executive order was because for social media, because he got mad that Twitter actually fact checked him on his tweets about mail in voting and fraud. He decided that this at this crucial time was the most important thing to do because Twitter and other social media platforms are saying you're not going to spread lies this election cycle. We're going to hold you accountable. So when a and by the way, due to our First Amendment rights, due to the protection of the press and all of those things, and social media is under the umbrella of the press, like Twitter, Facebook,
Hmm.
and Instagram. That executive order was just a bunch of fluff. He just wanted to kind of boast, so maybe they won't do anything, but it got to go through an act of Congress, got to go through Supreme Courts, it got to go through a whole lot of litigation. So trust me, your Twitter timelines are not going to be in jeopardy anytime soon. But this is what this president decides to do. He decides because he wants to be petty and get mad because somebody is not going to let him keep spewing his lies that he wants to sign an executive order for this, but not for the pressing issues in this country. We literally have no leadership at the top. None. And you wanna in the media in Fox News and whoever want to say black people, why are you rioting? Why are you doing all of this? Why are you protesting? Just in Michigan a couple of weeks ago, they had AK-47s. They were sitting on the steps of the Capitol buildings and in governors' mansions, and white people were screaming in police officers' faces about opening my country back up. I want my haircut. I want to be served. I need to be served. This is what I need. Open my country back up. And they just stood there and took it. But with the protests that have taken place this week, we get tear gassed, we get shot with rubber bullets because we're asking
Hmm.
for justice. We're asking for us to not only we're just asking for you to get your knee out my neck. But we're gonna get to that soon. But another case that has caught national attention, but I don't think has caught enough national attention, and is a black woman. Me and you, is a black woman, Alexis. Me and you can speak to this. The case of Breonna Taylor. This case also tore me up. This woman was a first responder,
Oh,
emergency medical worker, which she's an essential worker. 26 years old. She was shot and killed by the police in her home. Her boyfriend, Keith Walker, told the 911 operator that somebody kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend. He doesn't know. He didn't know what happened. He she was unresponsive and yelling for help, and he was saying, "Oh my God." Police entered Taylor and Walker's home on the night of March 13th with a warrant to search for illegal drugs. The Louisville Metro Police Department said officers announced themselves before entering the home and were immediately met by gunfire from Walker. But a lawsuit filed by Taylor's family claimed the officers arrived at the home in plainclothes, unmarked cars, and did not announce themselves, prompting Walker and Taylor to think they were burglars. The
mm,
They
mm,
proceeded to spray gunfire into the residence with total disregard for the value of human life. Walker was initially charged for attempted murder of the police officers, but the charges were since
mhm.
dropped. Um, in the wake of Taylor's death, the police department announced the no-knock search warrants will now require the police chief approval, and officers will be required to wear cameras to carry out the search. But there still haven't been no arrests made for those police officers who killed this young woman. So let's break this
Mm,
one down real quick. She was in her home, like Botham,
mhm.
and who was killed while he was eating ice cream, but that's another name that I forgot because there's been so many. Um
Oh, oh.
and and her boyfriend who has a legal gun in Louisville, Kentucky. And if anybody knows about Kentucky, because I visit them, my brother lived there. I used to go down there and he taught me how to shoot, all of that type of stuff. So y'all don't even need to mess with me because I know how to handle mines. But he was a avid hunter. When I mean that is the most gun toting, about everybody got a gun type place you can never find. And all of them have it legally. So this man and this woman were in their home. They thought somebody was burglarizing them. And he shoots them, the police. And and he gets charged with attempted murder, but no charges for the police who killed his girlfriend. And let me repeat something to you, people. Let me repeat this to you to make this plain and clear. The person they was looking for was already in custody, and they had the address wrong.
Come on now.
That
Come on.
that
Come on.
woman
Wait a
was
minute.
killed
Wait a minute. Wait
in
a
her
minute.
home.
For no
The
reason.
person they was
For no
no, no,
reason.
no. The person who they were looking for were already in custody. Was already in custody, Alexis. And this 26-year
So
old
explain this.
essential worker was killed in her own home. Her boyfriend watches as his girlfriend bleeds and dies, but he gets charged with murder. And these cops haven't even been charged with
Go free.
anything.
Go
And
free.
he and
Go
so
free.
so so and this is a black woman. This is a black woman like Sandra Bland.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
we've had a lot of women who get killed. It's not just black brothers. Like, understand that this has media attention but doesn't have as much media attention. Obviously, for one, there's no video. When you see a video like with the Arbery case and with the Floyd case, there's video so you can have a sense of what's going on. But today the 911 phone call was released. I listened to maybe the first minute of that and I literally cried my eyes out listening to that man crying about his woman. But like, come on now. It used to be, and I hate to say this, and I hate to say it, but I will live in my truth. As much as I was said about Trayvon Martin, as much as I was sad about Eric Gardner and Tamira Rice, especially Trayvon Martin and Tamira Rice because
Mm.
they were so young, I felt a little, I felt a sense of relief because I have a daughter. So I felt like, okay, I don't have a black son, but I have a daughter. Maybe, yes, I gotta protect her from the rape culture and all of that and so many things that she has to carry with her as a woman. But she does have she might have a little bit more security because when she drives versus if I had a black son, she's gonna be considered not much of a threat. But when you see Sandra Bland be pulled over and get dragged out of her car, when you see this woman get killed in her home, and she was an essential worker doing all the
Mhm.
right things, 26 years old, was a medical worker, was had high recommendations from her job, living her life as a 26-year-old black woman. um she gets killed. So I what's so sad now is that protection as black women, because we're considered super women, that we feel like we have to pray for our black sons and our black men. But now we have not only that, we have the burden of now praying for ourselves, our mothers, our aunties, our sisters, our nieces. It's just something that I don't know. It does something to you because i- if the black woman is not protected, who's the giver of life? If the black man is not
Mhm.
protector, it's not protected, who's the protector and the provider of the life we live, then it's plain to see people. They just want to extinguish us. They want to make us extinct like the
Oh
dinosaur.
yeah. Oh
Because
yeah.
if the
Yeah.
because if you lock up the black man, which they've done, if you kill the black man,
Mhm.
which they're done, and just leave it to be the single
Mhm.
black mother, then okay, that's half of the problem. But when they realize that the statistics show that black women are the most highly educated women, when black women are the most highly
Mhm.
promoted women in corporate America, when a black woman is the most
Mhm.
educated woman getting all of these degrees and getting higher educations as far as bachelor's, doctorates, PhDs, and masters, then now that they realize, oh, the black woman is becoming a threat, so we need to do something about that too. And Alexis, I'm gonna let you have this one about this because I need to kind of, because the next topic we're gonna be talking about with the George Floyd case, I'm gonna need some time to process that. But I need you to take it from the black woman's perspective and drop some knowledge on them about all of what's going on with us as black women.
All right, you go on timeout for a minute, okay? Okay, bye bye. Um, with the Breonna Taylor case, with the execution of our not only our black men, but our black women and our black children. Uh, what can I say? Oh, what can I say? First of all, let's make this one thing straight. They thought it was the black man that was the threat initially, but they don't understand with our intelligence who will teach them but the black woman. They come from us anyway. So just want to put that out there. Another little keynote. These wonderful white people don't want to know or accept that y'all come from us anyway. Y'all don't have, if you test your blood, you might find some type of African blood up in you anyway. And it's not because of slavery, it's because you come from us anyway. Original people, that's one. Um, to see the senseless execution of Sandra Bland and how they try to cover it up as if it was a mistake, like she hung herself because, oh, she was just so out of it. Mm-mm. To see the ridiculous execution of Breonna Taylor. There's no way you gonna tell me you had any reason to be in that woman's house, this couple's house, if you already have the person in custody. What that does that to me, and I might be far, reaching a little bit, but what that says to me is these people. that has not been charged, has not been fired. Because when the police kill us, you just get fired, or you get a little slap on the wrist for a little time, and if that time, with that time, you probably be on probation most of the time. But I'm just saying, I digress. With this, it feels to me and it sounds like to me that these cops, these unmarked cars, plainclothes cops, pretty much, pretty much was um, pretty much staking out the neighborhood. And you see this black woman come out in her scrubs, an essential worker, saving lives this day, resting, and in her sleep, she leaves this realm, this earth, and end up in heaven because you just want to be racist. Let's just be honest. Let's be totally honest. It's sickening to me. Because now, there's no holds barred. Just kill them. It's To me, it feels like history is repeating itself. To me, that sounded like when the Ku Klux Klan just rolled up on our property with the burning cross, and instead this time, instead of covering their faces, they just cover up their uniform. I'm just saying, y'all don't have to
Preach.
agree, but it's real. It's real. It's just real. Let's just keep it all the way real. You're not gonna cover up. You don't have hoods on this time. You cover up. You get out of your uniform and you cover up your badge, and no one suspects you because you have on an unmarked. You're driving in an unmarked car, and here you come, sneaking in. Your cross is no longer burning. It's just blue and red lights flashing. I'm just saying. Y'all might not agree with me, but it's just the truth. Come on now. None of this with Sandra Bland, with Breonna Taylor, with other women there's a lot of stories of black women being killed by the police for no reason, walking. Something happened in their house, and here come the police shooting, coming in. No freeze, no, let's investigate what's going on. Let's assess the situation. Nope, you black, here come bullets. Here come bullets. So not only are you killing our black
Alexis,
men, you kill.
repeat that. Repeat that again. Repeat that last phrase again, just in case they didn't hear you.
Oh, so instead of assessing the situation and investigating what's going on, you just coming in. Nope, you black, so you deserve bullets. Yeah,
Everybody,
you deserve bullets.
everybody on your social media, I need y'all to hashtag hashtag that black and bullets because that's what we have right now, black and bullets. And I just want to
Black.
address something. I just want to address something real quick for all my listeners and our listeners who might want to know something. And I'm just gonna make this perfectly clear. Black on black crime. I know that's the comeback for everything. I know that's the comeback for why riot and why loot. Why are you rioting in the Target? That is so wrong. That you shouldn't be doing that. So let me address this real quick before we move on. Um, yes, black on black crime exists, but black on black crime is not what you need to use because guess what? If you are black and you live around other black people, you're going to wind up doing crimes to other black people. If you're white and you live in a predominantly white area, you're going to wind up doing what? Crimes to other white people. If you Asians and live in a predominantly Asian area, you're going to be doing crimes to predominantly Asian people. If you are Hispanic, you're going to wind up doing crimes around other Hispanic people. So the notion that black people perpetually search out other black people to have a beef with or have a problem with or to do a crime against is untrue because if I live in a predominantly black area, if I'm not going to go to the Asian area to rob because I would stick out like a sore thumb. I'm not if I'm white, I'm not going to go to a black area to try to commit a crime because I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. Unless I'm bold like that, but
Unless you
white
got
people
a
come into
badge.
unless you got a badge, of course. If I'm Hispanic, I'm
No.
not about to go to Jewtown and commit a crime because I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. So for the last and final time, stop using black on black crime as a way to justify what's happening to us. Because yes, we have to deal with it, but let me break something down for y'all. This term is used a lot. Systemic racism. Systemic racism. And I know that's kind of a big word, and a lot of you
Systematic
might.
racism.
Yes. So I'm going to break down what it means. Systematic means is there's a system in place. It's something that's been um a system that has been put in place that is a way to filter things and a way to get things done. The term racism is for you to feel like your race has a higher cachet than any other race. That because you're white, you're better than blacks, Jews, Asians, and Hispanics. So, and you have a economic advantage over them. So let me explain what put those two words together. Systematic racism is when they take your son or daughter's third grade test scores and determine how many prisons they're going to need to build within the next 7 years. Systematic racism is going to black neighborhoods and arresting black and brown children for insignificant crimes that could be a warning or a slap on the wrist. But due to the fact that they have a record, they're now not eligible to get certain scholarships, internships, or be able to apply to work in law enforcement. Systematic racism is when you work for a company but they decide that the texture of your hair is not too professional. When they say that because your name is Sawana or Demetrius, that they will not call you back, although your resume speaks for itself, but they will call the Brad and the Brianna and the Teresa back because the name sounds safe.
Oh,
Systematic
Can
racism.
we put a pin right there? Can we just stop right there?
Yes,
Right
yes,
there
yes,
on
yes.
that name thing, on the name thing, on the name thing. Now for myself, I have fell into that trap of, oh God, if I have kids, if I have children, I gotta name them something that's not gonna get them disqualified from opportunities because their name, not their abilities, their name. Haven't you heard that?
Yes.
Growing up, make sure, don't be doing all that Quenisha. It is being taught to us by our people because of this systematic racism um, approach that our creativity in everything, including our name, disqualifies our skills, our intelligence, our ability to have any type of opportunities whatsoever. I don't know how many times, even with just my name, my whole name is Alexis Sherelle Owens. I don't know how many times have I gone somewhere and I get the funny look like, wow, your name, your Alexis Owens? Yes. Wow, what did you thought? Because I look like I'm a Lakeisha, I'm a Pamela, I'm a Yaquanisha, that I shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't have the ability. It always disqualifies us if we even get any type of creative with our names. It disqualifies us. Actually, I'm starting to see there's some companies that even in their applications, they're like, so what's your nickname? Why the hell you want to know my nickname? Explain that to me, Chanel. I don't know if you've
Let
seen
me
that
let me. Let,
before.
I've heard of that. They have said, "What's your nickname or what's your alias?" It's a reason they do that because with social media present being prevalent, they want to not only be it because we've gotten hit to the game. You know that if you that you can't get through my Facebook profile because I'm sorry, um, I'm not going to allow my manager to befriend me, or I'm going to say, um, I just don't have a Facebook, or that Facebook is old.
at all.
So they try to use your nickname to search for maybe your Instagram or your Snapchat or anything like that. But guess what? All my accounts are pretty much private, and if anything goes on, it is what it is. But I've kind of had that. I've had that thing too because my name is my government name is Charnel, and in that name it's black, but it's white in a lot of ways. What I mean by that is, depending on if you look at it, or if you don't fully pronounce it, somebody could say it's a Chanel, or if you see that last name Logan, it's like, oh, okay, that might be safe. But when they see you, it's like, oh, you're
No.
Charnel Logan. So, and what I find disturbing is I used to be that in some ways. You was like, why they name that baby Demetrius? Or why they name that baby Lakeisha? And we've been so, and that's some systematic racism as well. We've been so brainwashed to
Mm-hmm.
look down on those names like, ugh, that's so ghetto. When actually the Daquans or the Takeshas are so smart and so have so much ability. We have been taught since slavery, since what's your name? Kunta Kinte. No, it's Toby. It's been beat into us that
Mm-hmm.
any creativity, any name that has a root with any part of us, our culture, our flavor, our style, our swag, that it is unacceptable because you would never have an opportunity because of your name. And then if you get past the name part, you would never have an opportunity due to your hair. Because I'm sorry, as a
Mm-hmm.
black woman, this is my natural hair. And I'm not gonna do it every day. I have the option, if I want to put a perm in my hair, I will. But if I don't, I would get it braided because I don't have to worry about it for 2.5 months. And it's a protective style, and it keeps my natural hair the way I want it to be with not a whole lot of maintenance. But then you make policies like, oh, dreads or braids are non-acceptable, or a black
Mm-hmm.
wrestler has his hair cut off so he could participate in a match. Like, but what does his locks have anything to do
Hair got to do with it.
with his ability? What does this black brother, if you saw back with the Oscars, that his school said he couldn't graduate or participate in anything due to his locks? But
Mm-hmm.
I think that school
It's
got a
loud.
rude awakening because now, I'm glad that brother stood by his principles, because now with this pandemic and everybody virtual graduating, what they gonna say about you now? Nothing.
You can't
So
tell me I can't graduate and I'm
you
gonna
can't tell
be
me I can't.
online with my locks under my head.
So I like what you saying. I'm not gonna walk across the stage. Well, look at you. You're not gonna be on the stage neither. So,
But you know what?
uh,
Even with the hair thing, Charnel, that hits home for me. Cause you and
and
I
we will
talked
have a
about this, and
and we
there's
will
a
have an
joke behind it.
episode that
We
that
talk,
will
we
go
got this
deeper into
joke.
this. Yeah, we're gonna have an episode going into the hair
Yeah,
thing,
but
but we're
it's
touching on a lot
hard.
tonight because it's a lot. But Alexis, just explain about the hair
It's a
situation
lot.
as being a black person.
You know, you know what? Just being a black woman, just being a millennial black woman, and when you decide, and I'm coming from the place of I was natural before it was kind of the trend. I mean, it was before, and then within the 2000s, this millennium, I went natural like at 13, and I
Completely.
dealt with boo, ball fade, don't care. Went to my prom with a ball fade, straight Chris lining and a halter dress, and looked better than everybody. I mean, I'm just
She had a
fabulous.
better hair.
Anyway,
She had a she,
um,
side note. She had a better fade than some of the dudes at prom. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So anyway, but having now, I have a daughter, and I love the fact that she loves her hair. I have to constantly remind her that her hair is beautiful in in its natural state, in its beautiful locks. And oh, can't wait till the third, because we gonna get them twisted up and everything. But it's what makes her beautiful. And this is why I said that's a joke, because she had dealt with, even at a young age. My daughter is just 6, but she dealt with bullying from the other girls because her hair was so nappy.
Yeah, and she had a comeback for that one. Could you tell that story to kind of lighten up the mood because we're about to go into something deep real quick?
Okay, so I said, okay, she got the comeback from me anyway, because she told me who it was, and I looked over and I see these little girls that they mamas done put um perm in their hair and weave and even sewing. I mean, I'm talking about, I'm sitting up in a kindergarten graduation, a preschool graduation, and the chick got this little baby coming down the aisle with a whole, sew in bob. I'm like, you're 5. What is wrong with you? But you look at their edges and they don't got none. So I said, you talk about the ones that ain't got no edges? And she was like, yeah. I was like, they can't say nothing about you because at least you got yours. So the next day, I came and picked up my daughter from kindergarten, and her teacher, Miss Tompkins, I love her, and she, beautiful black woman with a big old afro hair. She pulled me to the side and she said, I need to talk to you. Something happened today with Naomi. And I was like, oh God, please don't tell me it's a tantrum or nothing. But no, she said she overheard the little girls talking about her hair. And that girl, she said, your little girl stood up with her hands on her hips and said, at least I got my edges. When I said I almost died, fell out on the floor because I didn't think she heard me. But at least I can say my daughter was strong enough to back them up off of her about her hair. Now, that's a whole
At
nother
least
subject
I
for a
got
whole nother
edges.
time, but I'm just saying,
No,
and
Alexis, your
she went
daughter
in, she
said,
went in
at
my,
least I got edges.
please, at least I got edges. That's how she did. So she talking about, Chanel, she talking about she want to have her own YouTube page. I was like, I might name it. At least I got edges, and it'll be Naomi. Ta-da!
That
The girl bad.
that
But
is
let's
so.
go on into this.
Okay, so I needed we needed to have that space and break because we about to get into something. Okay,
Yeah,
so we talked about Breonna Taylor, we talked about Amari, and I have to address this that has was just revealed to us on Monday of this week. That's had me not being able to sleep. That's had me write this show breakdown at least 3 4 times before I actually could finalize it. So let's go at it. Um, this brother George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota, he was alleged that it was forgery, that it was a. I'm not sure, it's conflicting statements right now that he was writing a bad check or he was giving somebody a fake $20 bill, which in this day and age, like, forgery, it is what it is. To me, um, you know, that's pretty petty. Or you never know. People hand you money all the time. You're not gonna put a $20 bill to the light and check if it's real. But with that being said, this brother was stopped by the police, and it was 4 police officers for this black man. Video has come out recently and shown that this black man was not resisting arrest, was not causing a commotion. He was just sitting in his car. So these 4 officers proceed to take him into custody. You think 4 officers against one man, that's enough? arrest him, put him in the car, let's go down to the station, straighten it out. That's how the scenario should have went. Or talk to him, ask him, what do you know? Anything. It's so many ways that situation could have went. But I'm sure if he was of a lighter hue, it would have went that way. But anyways, this man was then lying on the asphalt, on the ground, on the street, or on the concrete, face down. And this police officer had his knee knelt on this man's neck, on his throat, on his air supply for 9 to 10 minutes with his hands in his pockets. And correct me if I'm wrong, if you feel threatened, your hands will not be in your pockets. And what's been taught to me since an early
Not at
age,
all.
never let nobody see your hands in your pockets, because it looks like you are relaxed and not doing work. And then there's a officer next to him that seems to be just casually just staring. And there are people, if you guys have seen the video, I decide for yourself if you want to see it. I watched it and something in me broke. And it was hard to watch. This man's the fluid was coming out of this man's eyes and mouth. He was saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And the ghost of Eric Gardner, just the spirit of him just popped in my head. And this man was calling for his mother, a grown man asking for his mama. And what's so messed up, y'all, if y'all don't know, his mama's been dead for 2 years. So
Mm.
if he was calling for his mama, it's not because he needed his mama right there. I think it's because he saw his mother. That is, he was dying, he saw his mother and was just asking her to come get him. If y'all know the 14-year veteran NBA champion Steven Jackson, he's from Port Arthur, Texas, where George Floyd was from Houston. They call each other twin and they look a lot alike. And he is really hurt by this. You have a lot of athletes, actors, activists coming out about this. And it's just wrong because, yeah, we saw Eric Gardner get choked up and it hurt us. Yeah, we saw Ahmaud Arbery get shot down, but there's something about four police officers and this police officer knelt on his neck that hurt me, because that same kneel that Colin Kaepernick did for something just like this, he lost his career, y'all. He's a 30-year-old quarterback, Super Bowl quarterback who lost his career for injustice, for this. The same move that they said he was un-American for kneeling during the national anthem. He was un-American for kneeling through the national
Mhm.
anthem, but this police officer knelt on a man's neck and killed him in broad
Mhm.
daylight in front of witnesses and cameras. So tell me, was that American? Was it? Or that's the type of kneel that y'all were okay with? And I don't want to hear nothing from
Say
anybody
that
about that.
again.
There's good.
Say that
I don't want to
again.
hear.
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again. Is that American or that's the type of nail that you're okay with? Come on, say that again. Say it again,
Is,
Chanel. Say it
is that
again for
American?
those in the
Oh,
back.
is that the type of kneel you're okay with? And I'm going to say this for the people in the back. I don't want to hear nothing about it's good police officers out there. Because if it is, please speak up right now. Please. Because you guys choose to protect this coward. You choose to say, let all the evidence
Mhm.
come out. And today, the district attorney in Minneapolis, Minnesota had the nerve and the audacity to say that there's not enough evidence right now to charge them with murder. So, but,
That's funny.
but,
Really?
but, but, this right here, this stuff right here, it's amazing. We had everybody from Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Muhammad Ali, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Colin Kaepernick, LeBron James, to today speak up about these issues continuously. Our athletes, our actors, our our everybody I could think of, radio personalities, TV personalities, but I don't need to hear from Black America anymore on this issue. I need to hear from white America. I don't need to hear from
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Washington. I need to hear from Tom Hanks. I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
hear I don't need to hear from LeBron James anymore. I need to hear from Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I don't need
Mm-hmm.
to hear from Steve Harvey anymore. I need to hear from Jimmy Fallon. I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
hear from Chris Brown anymore. I need to hear from Justin Bieber and Justin Timberlake.
Mm-hmm.
Because us as black people, we didn't create this. We didn't create this.
Oh.
We didn't ask to be killed. But white people, you have a power. You have an ability. Because, and I want to say this thing. If y'all were more upset about people rioting and looting Target than you are about a black man being killed, then you are the problem. And everybody's like, don't bomb and terrorize your own community because you got to live in it and you got to rebuild it. If anybody, please do your history about Black Wall Street. We had our own community, our own economic community that was thriving, but it got bombed and it got ransacked. So so what are we supposed to do? We can't build our own communities because they're going to be gentrified or bombed because they feel like we're getting too powerful. But we can't keep getting killed. So white America, Asian Americans, Hispanics, please tell me what are we supposed to do. So don't loot our neighborhoods. But if we loot and rob, if we go to if we don't go to Stony Island, but we go to Michigan Ave, then we know we're gonna get killed. And
Mm-hmm.
then you say you playing into what they want you to do. So what do we supposed to do? Because this thing is troubling me. This thing is, and I need to say this. I don't need the black church to step up about this. I need my white evangelistics, and I need all of my evangelicals and all the white church to step in, and all my mega churches to step in, and all you black pastors that are being paid by the white man, or you're getting your tithes and offerings. Please, I need you to speak up about this because I need the church to be prevalent. Because if we are all made in God's image, then all of us should be facing the same thing. It shouldn't just be the image of the black man and black woman constantly getting killed in this country. And it might sound
Mm-hmm.
like I'm rambling and it might seem like I'm not speaking with no sense, but this stuff doesn't make any sense. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired. I'm 29 years old and I'm already tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of saying maybe we can vote our way out of it. But why are black people still Democrats? So you tell me my life's gonna change if this November I vote as a Republican? Or why are black people Republicans? So you mean my life's gonna change if I'm Democrat? Okay, so why don't you get a good education? But how am I supposed to get a good education if the good school is out of my district, but I somehow become disqualified because I use my grandmama's address? But that's another subject.
Uh-huh.
What am I
Oh
supposed to
yeah,
do?
we're gonna talk about
What
that.
what am I supposed to do if I'm trying to make it? What am I supposed to do when the black president that we had, they still trying to look for dirt on him, still trying to make his presidency seem so illegitimate. But we have a president sitting in office that does things on the daily, but nobody ever tries to not make his presidency. We supposed to respect that office, but when Barack Obama was in office, we as Black Americans used to say, "What is he doing for Black America?" But do you realize that the same system that kept him oppressed and you oppressed wasn't going to let him be great? So the victory wasn't himself; it was sitting in that chair trying to do something, because he fully couldn't be as black as he wanted to be. So
No.
tell me, what are we supposed to do? Tell me, a black man was lynched today. A black
Mhm.
man was suffocated. A black man died who has two daughters. A black man died for what? Even if he did do a crime, what's it? So his crime was to be prosecuted, sentenced, and executed on the street in 10 minutes. Let me ask y'all something. How many of y'all have made an illegal U-turn? How many of y'all have taken a candy bar from a store when you was a shorty? How many of y'all who ride public transportation hop the turnstiles to hop on the train? How many of you
Mm.
have bought a movie ticket to go to one movie, but you stay in a movie theater just to watch three? How many of y'all
Mm.
have done simple things like that that are quote unquote illegal but petty, but y'all never worried about getting killed? So a man might write a forged check, and let me say this: if it was a bad check, it's gonna be easy, because as black people, sometimes we write bad checks because we just trying to eat, dog.
Mhm.
How many times have your account went into the negative, knowing you didn't have no money on that debit card, but you swiped it anyway so you could get something to eat or get your daughter some diapers?
Mhm.
So don't tell me it's just a crime. Like I said in the beginning of the show, we are being convicted, and it's a crime to be black in America. And I'm talking about the America with the three K's, not just the C.
They're not just
And
to
I
see. Mhm.
and let me just say this for the people in the back once again. Let's go through the history real quick. We've had the slave trade, we've had the civil rights movement, we've had the Black Panther movement. We're now in the Black Lives Matter and social media era, from where we post stuff on Instagram and Facebook and go on live and try to mobilize. So we've had all of these movements, and from my calculation, for over 400 plus years, we've had all of these things happen to us. And tell me, I just want to know one thing. You know that man who in Central Park, who a white woman called and falsely accused him, saying an African American man was attacking her and threatening her life? Y'all
Mhm.
y'all know that story? Let me ask y'all a question. Doesn't she sound a lot like what happened to Emmett Till? How long was Emmett Till? How long was he
He was
ago?
eh, not that
That
long. Not that
it
long.
wasn't that long. What's so crazy about, and a lot of people, especially black people, want to be like, oh, that happened such a long time ago. That happened such a long time ago. But let me just refer to you why it wasn't that long ago. Some of y'all parents remember when it happened. And think about how old your parents are. Some of your grandmothers remember what happened. Think about how old your grandparents are. We we live in a place where we can still remember the traumas but keep getting new ones. And that brings me to this subject. PTSD in the black community. Post traumatic stress disorder. We're living with such a trauma and a PTSD that I ain't gonna lie to you. When I go get on the train and I see police on a platform, I get very nervous. I don't feel safer.
Me too.
I
Me
get
too.
very, very nervous. I get very nervous. I get more nervous than if I was sitting on a platform and there was four black men there. Because in my mind, if it's four, I could at least talk to one of them to convince him not to jack me, or it's a 9 times out of 10 chance that one of them probably knows me or knows of me, or I have some sense of, I can look him in his eyes and I can feel like he not gonna do nothing to me. Or you know which black person is cool because you can give him the head nod and you know, all right, I'm straight. But I have more nervous tension when a police officer is on the train,
I think we
and that's real.
lost her.
But I just say this, y'all. It's difficult and it's hard. But that's what we're dealing with right now. So, Alexis, what do you think about this PTSD that we go through as Black people?
Well, can you hear me? Because
I can
I
hear
just
you.
got a cool. Um, you talking about this PTSD that we got, that we born with?
Yeah,
We born with trauma. It's in our history. We taught this trauma. We're taught in our schools trauma for us. We ain't gotta go in no war. We ain't gotta go to no Afghanistan. Hold on. We don't gotta go to Afghanistan or go to Vietnam or go to Korea or go to Iran or Iraq. We were taught our PTSD.
very
You
true.
feel me? We was
And
taught it.
it's
Think
hard,
about it.
but
Think about what Black history was taught for us. You didn't know about us, our lives in Africa unless you went to college and took an African American Studies course. But in school, we was taught slavery. We see
oh,
the
oh,
man with his back.
and don't forget, American history is core curriculum, while African American history is an elective.
Yeah, an
Just,
option.
just, just ponder on that one. American history is a course curriculum, while Black history is an elective.
But that's another
But, but,
subject for
but that's
another day.
another
So
thing.
we don't go
But
there.
beautiful people, as we are rolling into the 95th Street station, um, I would like you to gather your belongings because the doors will be closing and this train will be out of service. I want to thank everybody for coming to listen to our launch of our podcast. We had a couple of funny moments, but we got real and I got a lot off my heart and I feel a lot better. And I just want to close it with this. I have a 4-year old godson that I love more than anything in this world. He is rambunctious. He is creative. He loves Transformers. He loves Power Rangers. And everybody says he's so cute and so smart. But what makes me weep and what makes me cry is those same individuals who say he's so cute at 4, where it will be at the age of 14, will say he's so dangerous. And that makes my soul hurt. And I just want everybody to understand that we want our kids to grow up. We want our nieces and nephews to grow up because we love them so much. Same way you want to see your kids grow up. So please, people, sign the petitions, get involved in your communities. We will keep you updated about these cases as they develop. But once again, I want to thank everybody for joining me and Alexis on our launch episode of the Redline Podcast.
Woohoo!
Next week, we're going to try to pick it up, but we definitely will keep you informed. But as a people, I think we needed this. I needed this. I know for sure Alexis needed this.
I did.
So
I did.
thank you. Thank you. I feel so cleansed to just talk about this with you guys. So Alexis, you got any closing remarks before we get off this train?
May the Lord watch. No, I'm playing. Y'all tune into this show every Thursday here on Talk Shoe Radio.
Seven
Our
o'clock.
number is 7 o'clock. Our number is 605-562-0444. Show ID 511-6519. See, I got it right this time. But we're gonna be here every day. We're gonna be here every Thursday with topics. After topic, we're gonna keep you informed. We're gonna make you laugh. We're gonna make you cry. We're gonna make you go, and we're gonna have some shows where y'all can call in and express your opinions about what we're talking about in a respectable manner. Y'all, I enjoyed this tonight and
And once again,
needed it
follow me
tonight.
on social media. Instagram Nelly Swag 09, Twitter Nelly Swag 09, and Facebook by the same name. And follow our podcast Facebook page, the Redline Podcast, featuring loose squares to keep you up to date on our topics, the link to the show. And we just gonna keep this thing rocking and rolling, people. Thank you for the premiere episode. And we got some good things for y'all this season.
All right, until next time. Peace.
Peace.